At first glance, it may seem like the climate crisis is an equal opportunity one. However, this is far from the truth. Across the globe, we saw this in 2021 with deadly floods in Europe, as well as record-breaking floods in China, and a combination of extreme winter temperatures and hurricanes in the United States. Higher-income countries generally have more resources to deal with the impacts of climate change, unlike low-income countries. First is Afghanistan. Between 1950 and 2010, the temperatures in Afghanistan increased by 1.8 C, and the current rate could rise to 2.5 degrees Celsius by 2050. Rains have decreased by 40% in the country, and the World Food Programme classifies both rainfall-related drought and snowmelt-related drought as current threats. The program also points to flooding in other areas due to both heavy spring rainfalls and riverine floods caused by increasing snowmelt. The capital of Kabul and its surrounding regions, which produce much of the country's agricultural yields, are hit especially hard by both drought and flooding, which has increased the threat of hunger. Coastal communities and island nations are among those facing the highest risks associated with the climate crisis due to rising sea levels. Between 2000 and 2019, the country experienced 185 extreme weather events that cost a combined total of $3.72 billion. According to a 2018 USAID report, 89% of Bangladeshis live in high or very high climate exposure areas. With 75% of Bangladesh technically underwater, it's estimated to lose 11% of its land by 2050 due to rising sea levels. Third is Haiti. The World Bank estimates that Haiti has lost 98% of its forests, making the country even more vulnerable to complex emergencies when they strike. Many countries in the Caribbean sit in the hurricane belt and suffer the effects of global warming. Over 96% of Haitians are at risk when a disaster strikes, and the damages sustained in the wake of these emergencies carry a heavy financial burden. The fourth one is Kenya. This area of Kenya is being hit hard as part of a larger drought in the Horn of Africa, the area's worst in 40 years. Losses that have come with that drought in 2019 alone. Drought was estimated to cost Kenya more than $708 million. Country suffers the economic and infrastructure impacts of global warming. It could have significant consequences for neighboring countries. While it contributes less than 0.1% of the global greenhouse gas emissions, it has also pledged to cut these emissions by 32% by 2030. Fifth and last one is Somalia. Currently facing the effects of the worst drought to hit the Horn of Africa in 40 years, with some regions of the country at high risk of famine due to the fallout. Over 60% of Somalis are pastoralists, meaning that their ability to survive depends on consistent enough rains to keep their flocks healthy and well-fed. The country has been suffering for the last 3 decades of civil war, causing less attention to the imminent threat of climate change. Conflict has prevented a solid infrastructure from being developed and maintained, with government-led climate response systems in place to protect civilians from these shocks.